Hello YouTube and welcome back. This is Nico and you're watching Determinator Gaming. Today we're playing Kingdom Come Deliverance and we're right outside the walls of Rete. And the topic of today's video is going to be 5 things, small things that is, that I hope get added in any or one, all, whatever combination it takes of the DLCs. I just hope these 5 things get in it. So let's just jump right into it and start it off with number 5. So, starting us off at number 5, we have more armor and weapons. One of the best things in Kingdom Come Deliverance is the vast variety of highly detailed, intricate, and just purely amazing looking weapons and armor you have in this game. For example, if you take this room, there's a vast array of maces, axes, short swords, long swords, and other weapons scattered around, and then you can take these two standard looking characters, but the amazing detail and variety that can be made from the weapons and armor in this game make it truly unique in many aspects. And so I really hope they expand on that in one or hopefully all of the DLCs. I hope we'll be seeing new armor and new weapons so we can have millions more combinations, and I think it would just really increase the gameplay experience for everyone. Next up, at number 4, we have post-quest interactions with people like Fritz and Matthew, and of course Teresa. The storylines for these characters were fun, and helped us to build relationships with the people from Skalitz. But after the missions end, they seem kinda empty, and there aren't really any interactions available. For instance, if I were to talk to Teresa here, after I've completed the courtship with her, one would think that there would be options to talk about, I don't know, their relationship, feelings, whatever, you know? Lots of stuff to talk about. And it could be personalized and connect to the experiences they'd been through. But instead, you're greeted by a bland, you know, I'd like to know, and it brings you into a couple things about Rete, talking, you know, the same sort of stuff you can ask anyone in Rete about, and then the same 7-ish, I think, questions about Skalitz from the beginning.
I'd like to ask a few questions about
You'd think after a long and intimate courtship like the one they had, you'd have the options to pursue the relationship even further, or, you know, at least, I don't know, talk about something, go on another date, whatever, you know, I'm not asking for a ton, but I just think that if they'd add something, anything, it would really make it feel a little less empty and less of a shell. Coming up next, at number 3, we have something to do with all my money. Now in this playthrough I haven't gotten very far into the game and I still already have about 400,000 groschen, and in my other one I had about 1.5 million by the time I decided to stop playing it. There are a lot of things that they could give us in one of these DLCs to spend the money on, and I really hope that it's one or maybe, you know, hopefully all of them. Some of the options I came up with just off the top of my head are, I don't know, a house, some land, a business, or maybe even charity, you know, like maybe I could help out, be a philanthropist and help out all of the Skalitz refugees, help them get off the street and back on their feet, because I've certainly got enough money. But really, just, you know, off the cuff, I'd say a great example would be one of these tents here, let you buy it and sell all the wares you get along your adventure. You know, it would take out the middleman, not having to sell it to an armorer or a swordsmith. And, you know, you could put in a realism element in there to make it take longer to sell things, and maybe more expensive things wouldn't sell very quick, or maybe not even at all, you know, making you need to go to a swordsmith. It could also introduce interesting competition elements between you and the other businesses. I just think it'd be a great post-game content add-on, and I don't think it'd be that difficult to implement. So I'd really be a fan of that one. Coming up next, at number 2, we have the ability to give clothing, armor, and or weapons to NPCs of my choice. Now, this, of course, obviously brings to mind the Skalitz survivors, because you see them, the ones who are supposed to be your family and friends, all living on the streets in rags, you know, soaking in their own filth. And I don't see any reason, you know, realism aside, all that sort of stuff, you cannot give me a good argument why I could not use some of my wealth or some of the stuff that I've got along the way to give poor Alex here a nice set of clothes, maybe a, I don't know, sword, or maybe a full suit of armor if I want to. Who the hell cares? I don't see any reason why that shouldn't be added to the game, except for possibly coding and cutscenes, but I don't really think there are any with these guys. So I just think that'd be a real easy thing to implement that would allow me to, you know, do something with all the stuff I have, interact with my surroundings, and help out people that I'm supposed to care about. So that's number 2. Finally, at number 1, we have land and title for Henry. Now, if you're not new to my channel, you'll know that this is nothing new for me. One of the biggest things I've wanted since the inception of this game has been for Henry, the recognized bastard son of a local lord, to be able to use his money and influence to set up shop somewhere, fix up a place, make it his own. Obviously, I think that the most likely, as you can see from this map, and best choice for this would be Pribyslavitz. It's completely abandoned. There's a lot of the infrastructure is still there. There's wells. There's all sorts of stuff. Running fresh water right next to it. Plenty of timber to repair, and a lot of the stonework is still in good condition. So realistically, I think this would be a great place. Also, I think that this is a very likely place because of the From the Ashes DLC. I think there's a really good chance that this is all going to get fixed up anyway. But my major hope here, and what I'm really wishing for, is that it's not just going to be an added quest line where you're fixing it up for Sir Divish or for Sir Radzig, because Skalitz was never historically repaired. I'm hoping that Henry actually gets it. Whether it's from Sir Divish or from the king or from the Margrave or whatever you call him, or from Sir Radzig himself. Someone to give him this land, or at least make him the vassal here, and have him use his own resources, his own influence to bring people in, maybe the past people that you've interacted with, the Skalitz refugees, whatever it may be, to fix this place up and make it great. Because even if you just look at the map here, it's a beautiful setup. Up here you have what's obviously, from what I can tell, a church, but obviously it wouldn't be too difficult to transform that into more of a manor or a castle, as it were. And then you have 2 walled off areas, the Cuman camp over here and the bandit camp up here, which the palisades could easily be repaired, and you could even put secondary gates on them to make it very defensible. And then there's still plenty of room down here in the village for infrastructure and living space for just common folk. So I just really think this would be a great addition. Realism, it would make sense that you'd rather want someone to be living here than to leave it destroyed. And I think it would add another level of immersion to the game, so you're actually changing the world around you. Well, that just about does it for this video. If you liked it, please consider leaving a thumbs up down below. If you have any suggestions, why don't you let me know in the comments? Or if you just agree with me on everything I've ever said in my entire life, let me know. But if you like this content, please consider subscribing and ringing that bell so you can get notifications and you can see my videos as they come out all the time. But, in any case, thanks for watching, and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.